Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. And the crypto market is pumping today. Take a look at the entire overview right here. Bitcoin is above 21,000, up 4% today. Ethereum is at $1,229, up 7% today. A couple of other coins like BNB are also doing well, even though slightly less in the positives, but things are really doing good over in the top 10 and further down. It's just a really bullish day for crypto. I'm assuming a very big part in all of this is the stock market being so positive today, and very fun. It's actually to kind of watch how the stock market has performed over the last month with its recovery of roughly about 10% or so, when in reality, when you look back at Bitcoin, it's actually not really had a perfect correlation anymore, or at least not as I would have expected. Now, before we move over into the news though, let's take a little bit of a look at the charts, right? Because XRP is following the pattern pretty juicily. But damn, oh damn, does this look bullish, huh? You guys can see things looking amazing for XRP right now. You can just see it's consistently making some higher highs and higher lows here over on the short term, obviously. But I'm still quite, I guess, happy to see this. Also, the reversal we were shouting out about basically getting a bottom every single time we get as low as the RSI is right here at about 25 or so. Basically, every single time we have a significant dip on the RSI that we are pumping. Well, even though, we were not necessarily out of this bear market just quite yet, most signs were showcasing, okay, if reversal has to happen at the 2017-2018 all-time high. And that's exactly what we are witnessing right now, a big bounce off of that level, which again also coincided with the 0.236 Fibonacci at roughly $19,000. And that's roughly where we found ourselves this big dip. If you're wondering what my target is for right now, again guys, I've told you guys a bunch of times by now, if we're going to see this relief rally through, which I think it might really go, then I'm targeting 28,000, 29,000 almost. I think a lot of bulls want to take back some action, and again, it might be so that within this time though, okay, just after we, for example, get that relief rally, that we're still going to continue on and actually see, for example, $16,000, which is the high that we saw right after the bull run on the weekly. However, that is still to be seen and to be determined because, well, a lot of signs are showcasing that this was the bottom of the bottom. Here's actually another little showcase that I have for you guys to just showcase how many different signs were showcased. Okay, we at least have to get some sort of relief rally going in the short term. It's just most logical. Another thing which I like to showcase to you guys is the trend line that's been here for years and years and years. And even though I did not draw it perfectly right now, it's still, I think, something to be, I guess, looked at with some importance. The fact that right now we've been underneath this trend line for a couple of different weeks, and again, it just showcases how relatively cheap we are buying these coins right now to be below this line. There's also obviously my short-term trades, of which I told you guys, right? Let's get ourselves a first take profit right here at 20,000 with our stop loss at the entry or slightly below $19,000 with our second take profit at roughly around 21.7 thousand. And as it currently stands, we're still en route to get there. You can start to take profits officially slightly below, so I would say at 21.35 or so. Yeah, at about $100 more, I think we could also take some profits on this trade, or we could set it all the way through towards the top right here. But it's, you're looking at it thinking, okay, right now we're facing one slight little top here at 21,150. We have another slight little top here at 21,450, and then we have another bigger top at, let's say, about 21.9 or so. So somewhere in the midst of this, you have to take those profits. Again, if you start to look back, you can see more and more often 21.7 and 21.9. That's where a lot of resistance lies. This entire zone here is just where a lot of resistances have met. So taking your profits slightly below that is definitely not a stupid thing to do. We also, of course, did our, traditional trendline breakout that we talked about before, basically symmetrical triangle in the short term, and what we targeted for that one was, I guess, pretty similar, right? The same target at roughly around 21.9 thousand to take profits slightly below that because you can see the supply zone here. We also had ourselves the falling wedge. Let's quickly take a look at this to see how it would have played out. So we had our first take profit of roughly around 20.5 thousand, second take profit of roughly 21.7. It's the same area every single time, and our third take profit of roughly 22.6 thousand. We're still not there. We're getting close. And again, I'm still sticking with this trade until I get stopped out, which is not just quite yet. It's looking as if we're pumping even more though right now, guys. It's doing really, really well. Look at that. Crypto's going huge. Again, long positions are still all the way to go until we get stopped out, which is not happening thus quite yet. Oh, over on the short term though, I told you guys about our continuation pattern. We are hitting the top of our, continuation pattern here. We're going to have to check to see if we get some major resistance at basically the point where everything converges, right? 21.5 thousand. I think this one also showcases that. Yeah, on the short term, you can't perfectly see it, but this Fibonacci extension level also showcases 21.5 thousand. We're going to have to see how that's going to play out on the short term. See if we face some crazy resistance right there, which again could also coincide with the way in which XRP is going to face some resistance in the short term here, as it's at the breaking point right now, right? That could be juicy if we're going to get some breakout for Bitcoin, or if I guess from the same perspective that Bitcoin is not going to continue on with its pattern and actually get some crazy breakup with some confirmations going. Then again, we've also seen it before here a couple of weeks ago that we did have some outliers, so I'm not going to go berserk or anything just quite yet. Regarding Ethereum, we're also almost at our first big profit margin, or I guess profit point. But before we move on, I want to quickly ask you guys to press that like button, all right? We've been going on for 5 minutes, way too long already, right? But if you've not done it yet, go to the freaking scroll down thingy. Press that like button. I want to always try to keep a ratio of, maybe about 1 to 10 or so, meaning that for all the 10 people that watch, at least one person presses that like button, lights up my day, And I also want to quickly shout out that I have a TikTok and an Instagram account. You might want to follow those if you're interested in that. I actually just posted a new video or photo or 2 photos on Instagram that you might want to check out. So let's make one thing clear here real quick. Don't get faked out. Let me say it really, really clearly here. Don't think that because we're having some small minor pump right now that everything is good, we're going to pump on forever, things are going to always continue on to be bullish or whatnot. Because that's what a lot of these guys want you to believe. That's what they want you to think. Remember, guys, there's a lot of different signs that the bottom might be in, or at least that some people are trying to push for the fact that it's time to go and they want to be right. Very often when a lot of people start to get bullish again because of these pushes, crypto crashes even way further slightly afterwards, which is something you got to understand. And again, a lot of these advisors and these people on these shows, I don't trust anymore whatsoever. We've seen Jim Cramer, for example, go from, what did he say just now? Crypto has no real value. It's garbage, basically, to it's time for crypto. He changed in the matter of a couple of hours, I think. Now, however, we also have Mike Novogratz, who was asked, hey, can we go lower? He says, of course we could. It feels that we're 90% through that deleveraging, he says. The problem is for you to go much higher. You need the narrative to go much higher, and you need the new capital to come in, which makes some sense. But also, again, I personally agree with the digital asset investor to say, if I were Squawk Box, CNBC, whatever, I'd tell Novogratz, the guy we just saw, we would only have him on as a crypto expert going forward if he came on wearing a tank top exposing his Luna tattoo while he gives us advice. Because you got to remember, these people, even though they might be billionaires, even though they might be extremely successful, they can all make mistakes, and they can all be just stupid because, you talk a lot. I most likely have said a lot of stupid shit on this show as well, because I've been talking this is actually my 3,001st video that's officially public right now, by the way. You've talked for, thousands of hours. Obviously, there's going to be some stupid things you've said. And for these advisors and these heads as well, they are going to be wrong very often. I'm going to say at least 30% of the time. But most likely way more because it's something that they can't fully predict anyway. And somebody's trying to quantify exactly what's going to happen. You can't fully predict it. Again, the guy has a Luna tattoo on his arm, right? He thought it was the future as well. Yeah. Little intermittent, whatever. Little in the midst here, little update. There's a lot of coins that I'm buying, right, that I've told you guys about before. A lot of it has to do with just being connected to one another and having proper utility, but it's mostly always, it's going to be around this, about how they're going to implement themselves in the newer financial system. I've obviously said a couple of times that Luna had its good parts for being mostly involving the UST part, for being this change that said a lot of people love to go for DeFi. However, there's a really big separation right there between the traditional finance and this newer DeFi or just finance as a whole in the newer realm that are not going to combine too well because they're just completely different, right? But then I look at these ISO 20022 compliant crypto that we talked about earlier, XRP, XLM, XEC, Algo, IOTA, or a couple of ones that are rumored to be compliant like HBAR, and we have a couple of other ones in that little ballpark like QNT. But here's, for example, a little scheme that I'm not sure what this guy is, who this is, whatever, put together here. And it's something that should be admired from a certain perspective. Just how it all adds up and how it all connects together and how the utility can just be kind of seen from just watching it and how it can all revolve around either a Swift or just the CBDC realm, or I guess a lot of the very, very major players in the world that basically handle everything in the financial system or realm. Yeah, it's just worth mentioning that I'm buying those cryptos for the connections that they have, for the use case that I can see with them, and everything from that nature. Another thing is I don't mention quant too often, but I'm honestly a pretty big holder, and I have some pretty I'm going to say some very unwise price predictions for that. I have some crazy price predictions. I expect a lot from Quant over longer periods of time, obviously. And I guess for all the cryptos that are in this list right here, I expect a lot from them. One I hold the least of, I would say, is IOTA. But I expect all the cryptos that he listed right here to do extremely well over longer periods of time. But more importantly, for them to just be kind of solid in the system, to not fail as easily. Let me just put it like that. And then I have a little update for you guys on VeChain. Our VeChain blockchain solution toolchain is ready off the shelf. For apparel, we embed NFC chips that guarantee authenticity. By combining NFC plus blockchain plus Internet of Things, we eliminate fraud in secondary markets and enable greater lifecycle visibility for brands. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly say VeChain is still up on their grind, still upgrading like crazy, still continuing on with their business to business and I guess all these different services that they nowadays offer. But this is really going to be a fun thing in middle school, huh? It's like somebody claims to have a certain piece of Louis Vuitton or whatever on. It's like, oh yeah? Pops out his phone, just scans it to your arm, not even trying to look for the tag inside your shirt somewhere. No, it's on the side of your shirt. Ain't no denying this one, baby. And there's also no, oh, okay, I embedded the right code into a fake thing. No. Even though that's always an issue that I have with this stuff, right? Like, even when we have this blockchain storage, I sometimes wonder, right? Oh, wait a minute, they also have a tracker device? Is that good? Is that bad? Not sure what I think about that one, but I'm sometimes thinking, what if you just have the tag that you can just copy? I guess it depends. They most likely have thought of that, right? No, okay. Because what I sometimes think about is you could just have two of the same ones, no, on two different shirts, and they will both showcase as real. It's the same thing as, for example, if I have a piece of clothing and the original, I have the original number, let's say I have one original, one fake one. If I just copy the original, like 100% by just copying every single tag, it's going to showcase all the exact same numbers. So if we were to just go into is this serial number real website, it's going to showcase a real one. It's only once you start storing things that things might change. But even then, I sometimes worry, or at least wonder about exactly how that was thought of, or how exactly that's going to fix itself. But I guess that's none of my concerns. It's about this industry. It has to be done anyway. VeChain is, I guess, the main proponent and all that. Finally pressing the pause on this video, man. I've been watching that for like a minute or two. But yeah, that was it for right now. A little quick update regarding the prices and regarding the news of what I have for you. I have so much more though, guys. There's even the Solana suit, and there's, oh my days, what John Dean is talking about with over in the White House. A lot of things are happening, but those videos will come out later today. So if you guys are interested about those or interested in those, whatever, make sure you press that like button and have the notification bell on for the next update. See you guys again in another one.